Hi, I'm Tip, and I'm Pick and Choose Reseller. When I tell people I'm a full-time reseller, the look on their faces typically say, what? I think generally people don't know what the day-to-day life looks like for a reseller. So what do you do all day, Tim? Come along, let me show you. Typically, the first thing I do is drop off the packages from the previous day's sale on eBay to the local post office. Currently, I've posted myself here at a local coffee shop to make some listings on eBay before Goodwill opens. To be successful on eBay, I need to make at least 20 listings a day, typically an average between 10 to 15, but 20 is the goal. Next stop, we're heading to a Goodwill. So this is not your typical Goodwill. This is a Goodwill second chance outlet, or some people just call it a Goodwill outlet. This is where I pay per pound instead of per item. Come in, let me show you. Check it out, guys. This is the Goodwill bins. There's rows and rows of clothing, and against the walls you'll see lots of housewares, and that's where I like to dig. I like to dig for certain small toys or video games or stuff I could flip easily on eBay. And you got the pricing chart right up there. So as a member, I only pay 45 cents a pound for the housewares against the walls. And when I dig for men's and women's clothing, I pay $1.75 per pound. Let's see what I find today, guys.
This is very
Alright, we just wrapped up the Goodwill outlet, and now we're across the street at the Cash America pawn shop to see what kind of video games or bikes we can find. Oftentimes, pawn shops will have pretty good bikes for us to check out. Here's a pretty decent one. It's a Giant, but it's priced at $275. It's kind of high, no margins for me. Let's check out this BMX bike here. It's decent stuff. Just good. This is a pretty smaller pawn shop. They've got tons of selections of consoles back here for me to choose from. Usually back here, you can see some of the titles and games. Let's see what they want. See a GameCube back there. That's interesting. Some Nintendo Switches. Prices are a little higher for me. See if we find anything interesting, we can always negotiate. Unfortunately, nothing for me to make a profit off of today, but we'll check again next time. And here we are again at another pawn shop just down the street. Let's see what we can find here. While video game hunting at pawn shops, it's pretty funny to see some of my original price tags from my Vendors Village showcases. So somebody bought it from me, and I was pawned it, and now I'm seeing it again here out in the wild.
Maybe it's in the back.
That's what I'm thinking.
All right, he said 105. 105. Awesome, great. That's a great deal. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Saw these interesting Zelda figures as well. They're priced at 30. They seem pretty much new in the box. Never seen this brand before.
Well, you know we're gonna give you a better price than that.
Yeah, thank you. It actually looks like somebody found this at a Goodwill. That's a Goodwill price tag right there in the middle. So let's see what they want for these.
Decide.
I'm actually friends with the store manager here, Iris, and she just pulled this out from the back. I have no idea what this is. I have to look it up. She said I could have this for free. Do you guys know what this is? So I just looked it up. It's a Power Rangers Rita figure, but it looks like it's missing the crest here on top of the staff. So still a pretty cool piece. Looks like we came to a fair price on this, 15 each, which is pretty awesome. So in total, between the Switch games and the Zelda figures, I'm getting it all for $135, along with this free figure. So awesome deal.
very helpful to have the information.
So he's showing me this really cool print from the 60s, apparently.
1969.
1969. Is that what it says on the bottom here? Oh, wow. And it says, under the blue light, it glows. So that's pretty cool. I don't have a market for this. I have no place to sell this, but that's a pretty cool piece here at the pawn shop. So that was actually a super successful 10-minute stop at a pawn shop here. I found 2 of these awesome Zelda figures that go for about 50 bucks on eBay and a ton of Switch games. In total, I'm probably profiting about $100 after another 20 minutes of work of listing them on eBay. So quick story, I actually know Iris, the store manager here. I bumped into her at a Goodwill about 4 years ago, and she noticed that I was a reseller, and she asked if I wanted to stop by her pawn shop, find some good deals. Here's a quick recap. I got 2 Super Mario Kart 8s for the Switch, a Pokemon Shining Pearl, Zelda Breath of the Wild, Kirby, Mario Odyssey, and Yoshi's Crafted World, all for $105. Alright, right now it's about 11:30. I'm gonna head to my next stop, which is Costco, and grab some lunch and shop for my family. My wife needed a few things for the kids. So just a quick family run and then back to work. And we made it to Costco right before noon. Grab some lunch and some things for the family. Have you kept up with how many stops we've made? I think my count is at 5. And we made it in and out in less than 20 minutes, guys. All right, we've made it back to our next stop, which is Madhouse of Bricks. I've got 2 things I want to accomplish in the next 20 minutes. The first is to check to see if Joe has brought my Lego Bionicle display back from Chicago, or if he sold it already for me, and if so, how much it went for. And the second thing I want to accomplish is to sell my bulk Legos I've gotten from yard sales this past weekend. Check out what I'm bringing in. So I was able to pick up this box of Star Wars for $10 with a couple of the minifigs, and then the bulk of the minifigs I paid for $4 total. So we'll see, he typically pays about $1 each. He also pays for bulk Duplos. I paid 20 bucks for both these bins from a church sale about 2 weeks ago. I posted on local Facebook marketplace, but nobody has picked it up, so I'm just gonna try to get as much as I can out of Madhouse of Bricks. And I almost forgot. I found these guys at the Goodwill bins this morning and paid 45 cents per pound. So I have about 10 cents invested in my hand. But these 2 minifigs on my left-hand side, I researched, and they were worth more than $20 each. I wonder how much they'll give me here at Madhouse of Bricks. So I'm here back at Madhouse of Bricks, and Joe says they actually were able to sell my Lego Bionicle at the Brick Road show. How much did it actually go for?
So from what I heard, it was $250 on the Bionicle one, and I don't know what you got out of the Sonic one.
All right, sweet. That's awesome.
I think you did pretty decent.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I've got a lot of bulk here for you, and I've got a couple of special minifigs for you as well today.
Okay.
So Joe just made an audible whoa.
Yep.
This figure right here. I looked him up. I thought he was worth about 40.
Yeah.
Is he authentic? Is he?
He looks to be, and he's in good shape.
All right.
And I miss is just like a chic guy. They're decent, but
What
they're
makes
not
what makes
great.
them so expensive?
That is a clone commander. So these guys are like his troops,
Okay.
basically. And so these guys tend to only be in like larger expensive sets, and a lot of these guys come in like battle packs and stuff.
Okay.
Basically.
Sweet. We won't tell Joe how much I paid for them then.
If you want to catch this. The difference between the 2 versions is there's this little band right there on his leg.
Wow.
If it's the gray one, it's the version that I need right now.
What's the price difference between the versions?
It's not actually different at all.
Okay.
It's just a slight change.
So many small details for Legos to understand.
Yeah.
That's why I don't really specialize in Legos. Joe has a bank of knowledge here, so maybe he can flip through and maybe find some more rare figures in his bin.
Maybe? Actually, I don't know for sure. And that's the sweater. You want the Christmas robe on
Yeah, I think
there.
these were. They said they came from like an advent calendar punch out thing.
Yeah, a lot of these do, because you've got a lot of sweaters, the Christmas Chewy. That would explain why that's in there, because he's either a very expensive set or advent calendar.
Gotcha. For expensive set, how much is he worth?
I mean, they're the same figures, so the advent calendar made sure he was dirt cheap.
Oh, okay.
The set he came out of is like several $100s.
Wow.
originally.
It's got a Joker right now.
That might be something. I'll have to double check on him.
Looks like he's got some pretty cool Bionicles in today. All right, to my surprise, Joe just told me that this is one of the original Joker minifigs and worth about $50. So between him and this one, we're making some good money here today.
You can move. Let's get 39.
How many figures?
39 as well.
39, nice. So 7 pounds of bulk and 39 figures, plus these special ones who will calculate differently.
Yeah, I buy these expensive ones. Honestly, I'm gonna round it to 40 with him.
Okay.
My breaking point is the $20.
So for all that, it'll be $75. I think I have 15, upwards of $20 invested in just these 2 boxes. So that's a win for me.
Yeah, I'm not.
So there you go. He's weighing the Duplos.
Oh,
I want to see.
I think you blocked it.
Oh, well. Here.
Should have. Thank you for that. Oh, all right. 36 pounds. In total, I had 36 pounds of Duplos. For a total of, if he takes it,
Cuts.
if you wanted, Joe.
Yeah. Would you mind if I went lower on the bank price?
That's totally fine. What is your price?
If I did those, it rounds out to about $200 for every night.
$200 for everything?
Yeah. And that's with basically 70 on.
70 on that. That's fine, because I paid 20 for that.
Okay.
And so 200 for everything sounds great to me.
Awesome.
Thank you, Joe. So honestly, I could have sold these 2 on eBay for twice the amount, but Joe's been so kind to offer me some good prices on the other stuff that I might as well just sell it to him to save myself some time. And here I have $2 in cash from I think overall $34 investment. Well, I would say that was a successful trip. I got an update on my Bionicle display. He sold it for $250 up in Brick Road. Along with my Sonic display, he wasn't sure how much he got for that because there was a friend who sold it for him, but we'll find out in a few more days. I also got a $160 profit off these Legos I found this weekend at a yard sale and the 2 figs I found at Goodwill Bins this morning. So awesome day. Alright guys, I'm here at my next stop, which is Great Clips, to get a haircut. And so while I wait to get a haircut, I'm going to be next door at GameStop selling some games to make a profit. And also at Minted down here, which is a jewelry and coin store, to trade in some of my jewelry that I found at yard sales this past weekend. So I brought some trades to GameStop to see how much they offer here. Even though I already know how much is based off your website. Now you might be asking, Tim, why are you trading in games at GameStop when you could be getting more on eBay? So for some of those games I traded in for the Switch, they're offering about $5 to $15 a piece, which is just easy money for me. And I'm trading it for credit, which as a GameStop Pro member, I get 10% more. But the real reason I wanted to trade in is because of these right here. Lots of GameStops are now taking in retro games. So what I can do now is stock up credit and wait for one of those game deals to drop. Some of the deals are like 4 games for $10, 4 games for $20 under a certain price. As you can see here, they've got some Pokemon stuff, some Zelda, some Legos, and even some GameCube stuff that I might want to try to grab with my credit. Check out all these Switches they have now since the Switch 2 came out. Lots of cool amiibos. I feel like we're on a little amiibo run right now. As you can see, some of these prices are way more than I paid for that lot recently. Some great stuff there. Yes, sir.
Okay. Store credit's going to be $41.80.
Sweet, just about what I expected. All right, the next stop is Minted, just a couple doors down from Great Clips, which I have about 10 minutes left before my haircut appointment. And here I'm going to bring in some gold and silver bracelets. Alright, so I got permission to record in here, but check out all these cool stuff here at this Minted jewelry and coin shop. I'm here to trade in my gold and silver I found at yard sales and to ask some questions about these interesting coins that I found. So let's see how much they offered. All right, so I'm going to begin with this here. I know this is 14K. I was able to zoom in on that.
Okay.
I wasn't able to see how much it weighs. And this I saw the marking for 99.25.
Could be sterling.
And then this, I have no idea what this is. I found this in a box somewhere. I don't know if this is worth anything. You guys are a coin store.
Yep. These maybe ancient coins. Might have to have Sean look at these coins. The rest of these I'm on an XRF.
So in total, I paid $1.50 for all of this. And look at the price, guys, $110 traded in at this jewelry shop. Now the next question is, how much are these gold coins worth, and what are they?
So they're not gold.
Not gold coins, sorry, antique coins.
That's up.
So they categorize this as ancients, which is interesting. I found these bag of old coins somewhere in a box in my basement. I forgot where I got them from exactly. I'm here to find out more information about them. So the expert is here. All right, the coin expert is here. Can you tell me anything about these coins?
Some of these I do believe are not real.
Okay.
They appear to be cast.
Right.
So they have a little bit more iron in them than they should. And they are not
worth $1 million.
Nope, not worth $1 million. No, unfortunately not.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
What are they worth? Is that like what are they worth, or what are they made of?
well, so this one you have some tin metal and some copper in there. So that's,
Okay.
that's not a good sign.
Basically junk.
Most of the coins, so like, let me show you something. This one's got some lead in there. Let me grab some actual ancient. This giant bag of beach.
He'll be right back. He's grabbing some actual ancient coins. So it looks like a bunch of these things are worthless.
So here's some real ones.
Oh wow, okay. They look more like pressed down and stamped.
Yeah, they smack these things with a hammer. So you can see the elemental composition here. You're going to have like trace amounts of iron, silver, tin metal, copper, lead. That's what's called a billen mixture.
Okay.
So most of what you're going to have is that.
So how old are these exactly?
Most of these are, it's kind of a hodgepodge. So some of these go from 300 BC all the way up to about 800 AD. So some of these go into the Byzantine Empire.
How much are they worth then? Like per coin?
Couple bucks a piece.
That's it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So can somebody with like a metal detector go on a beach and find stuff like this?
Probably not a beach here in America. Maybe a beach in Italy.
Really?
Yep.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Can't really zoom in on this with my GoPro, but that's so cool.
Yep.
Yeah, I can see how the thickness of these coins are a lot thicker than those actual ancient coins.
Yeah.
So that's really cool.
Yeah, so these guys are all going to be a lot thinner. You do have some that are going to be thicker. So here's
Okay, wow.
that's kind of like Indo-Scythian type stuff, things like that. You'll have a few that are like Byzantine Empire.
Can people just bring these into you guys?
Yep.
Yeah, like, coin collecting is a whole nother world I have not even tapped into. I'm just like barely tapping into jewelry right now. So this is really cool to learn.
Yeah. So
Like this is things I typically will not find at yard sales. So
yeah. No. So I mean, unfortunately, with ancient coins, a lot of times, you'll have guys that they think they're really expensive because over in this part of the world you don't see them that often unless you work at a place like this. But pretty much every time somebody goes and plows a field in Italy, they're gonna find more.
Wow. Okay, so it's pretty common in other parts of the world.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think humanity has existed so much longer in other parts of the world. You have areas that have been constantly inhabited for the last 5,000 years.
Okay,
You're gonna have some coins from there.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for the history lesson. That was super informative.
No problem.
So I brought in junk and he showed me some actual valuable stuff. So here comes the fun part, is cashing out, guys. So in total I had $110 out of a $1.50 investment from a yard sale.
Oh, we rounded you up, so you're at 111.
Oh, sweet. Thank you so much.
Yeah. 20, 40, 60, 80, 1, 10, and 11.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Yep. Thank you.
So the reason I come here is because I offer such a high percentage. They offer 95 to 97% of melt value. That's 25% more than you would get at a pawn shop, which offers 60 to 70%. And so the guys here are saying it's because they have a higher level of testing here, and this is what they do full time. All right, now that we've made enough money for a haircut, more than enough, I think, we total $150 between $40 in credit at GameStop and $110 at the jewelry shop. Now it's finally time to get a new haircut. All right, I've made it to Vendors Village Mall and Antiques. This is where I have, I think, 6 showcases full of video games, toys, and just memorabilia collectibles to sell. I'm here to bring in my amiibos that I bought a few days ago to place them in. Come follow me and see what I do. So here's what I brought. These amiibos, I've already put a price tag on each of these amiibos. I might as well put in the Zelda stuff I just got along with my Zelda amiibos. I also brought some acrylic stands to place those amiibos on to make them look really nice. Some Pokemon cards and some K-pop CDs I found at a yard sale this past weekend. Price pretty low. Do you remember those video games I bought from the pawn shop, Iris's pawn shop, for $105? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 3 of these games. I'm going to list them on eBay when I get home. 1, 2, 3, 4 actually. These 2 Mario Karts, Kirby, and Yoshi to break even. And then I'm going to put these in my showcase to maximize my profits with lower % of commission and loss. So I'll probably charge $30 to $35 each for these 3 games. And as I said, a total profit about $100 from that one buy. Here at Vendors Village, there are rows and rows of these showcases that individual vendors can rent out to place whatever items they want in. There's certain policies that you have to follow, but here one of my competitors has lots of cool vintage cards and video games and vintage Ninja Turtles. They all honestly have a lot of great prices. I like buying from them actually. And here's a really cool 300 minifigs for $700. I don't think I can make anything off of that, but that's just really cool to see. Here you have a person selling some camera equipment, some books and media, lots of cool antiques. These are just the front row showcases. There's tons and tons of booths in the back as well. Take a look at this one, another competitor selling video games and Funko Pops. But if you follow down this area, there are rows and rows of booths. I think over 300 of these booths are set up for people to shop. Next, we've got these video games that I bought from the pawn shop. I priced them at $32, a little under retail price, a little under what they're actually valued at. Hopefully they'll sell quick compared to what GameStop is charging. So now I just have to make it organized and neat inside the showcase. The time is now 3:17 and we've made so many stops. I think I've lost count. If somebody can comment below how many stops I made today, let me know. I'm pretty tired. I think it's time to head home. We've done quite a bit today, from sourcing to selling at pawn shops and at jewelry shops to getting a haircut, getting some family errands done quickly, grabbing lunch, and also restocking here at Vendors Village. It may have been a bit overwhelming for you today to see every single little thing I did today. I think watching other reseller videos, you'll feel the same way. I can't copy that. But here I'm going to leave you with 3 general principles for reselling. One is to make a plan. As you've seen today, I was able to maximize every single hour of my day from 9 a.m. to 3:15 p.m. And in some of these hours, I made over $100 per hour. So make a plan. Schedule your day. Second is to make connections. As you saw today, I went to several shops that are friendly towards me. I've built a rapport with Iris at her pawn shop, with Joe at Madhouse at Briggs, and at Goodwill I've met some friends as well. And at Minted, the guys are friendly towards me and give me a really good price for the jewelry and coins that I bring in. And thirdly is to make some money, guys. Reselling should be a ton of fun. If you go out sourcing, hunting, that's the fun part, but also knowing where to sell it at. So browse your Google Maps, see where these jewelry stores are to trade in, see what kind of relationships you can build over time with people who can mutually benefit from you bringing them stuff and you selling to them. So this is it for today. See you guys next time.